Welcome back to another episode of the podcast From the Depths of Darkness to the Light of Success. I am your host, Chris Swick, and on this podcast, we talk about mental health, addictions, recovery, really anything anyone's afraid to talk about it. I talk about it on this show. It's important to share your feelings and not hold them in, everyone. And at the end of the day, I believe everyone's story matters to me. It does not matter what walk of life you come from. Your story is valid. Anyways, with no further ado, it's a long time in the making. I've been bugging this man for a while to come on my show. He's a hard man to get a hold of some days, but that's okay. With no further ado, and before I jump into who it is, I've been listening to this guy's music for well over 10 years. He's gotten me through some dark times myself, and even when I was out in active addiction and stuff like that, I listened to these songs and it got me through some really dark and deep moments in my life. But I'm grateful to say I'm over 2 years clean and sober now. But with no further ado, I'd love to introduce to you onto the show, everyone, Colicchie, aka Chaz Smith. He ain't anonymous anymore. I would want to take it away and let them know a little bit about you, Colicchie, for the ones that don't know.
Yeah, my name's Colicchie, Chaz Smith. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've been in long-term recovery this time for a little over 6.5 years. I bounced in and out of the rooms for nearly 16, 17 years, and I've been doing music for just about as long as I've been coming into recovery, around the same time. When I got introduced to recovery in general, that's when I started making music. And man, the torturous existence that I once lived to the beautiful life that I have now, it's amazing. It's almost unbelievable to see where I am at this moment compared to even 6.5 years ago. So I'm forever grateful.
And you just brought out a new song too, man, and great timing, called Dope Sick. You want to, talk a little bit about that song and the story behind that song, man?
Yeah, absolutely. The song's called Dope Sick Love, and it really, I have very detailed songs about specific situations or specific people. And for me, it really was just about, because for me, addiction can be in any form. It can be drugs, it could be shopping, it could be relationships, females. And I basically just talking about being caught in the grips of addiction without the chemical. And for instance, that song was basically, interpret it as you will, but it was basically just about a female and just being able to not let go of a relationship, even though that it's toxic, not being able to let go of a relationship, even though that I might physically die behind staying with this individual, and just how hard it is. I wish that I just knew something was bad for me and could just stop just that easily. But that just has never really been has never really been my road, I guess you could. It's been a long time since I even been in a relationship. This time, I don't know. I've been caught up. I've hit bottoms like clean and recovery, and I've been spiritually bankrupt and all that. But I know as long as I don't put a chemical into my system or drink alcohol or anything, that I have a better chance tomorrow.
It's so true, man. If I can lay my head down clean and sober at night, some old timers have told me in the past, you will wake up clean and sober, and it starts the day off great, man. Just
Mhm.
one day at a time is all you got to do, everyone. You don't have to 5 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, whatever it is you got to do to get through that day or that moment. That's all you got to do it for, though.
Very true.
So have you replaced any destructive behaviors with positive ones since coming back into recovery and doing the things you're doing?
And yeah, absolutely. When I used, I really had no life and didn't really have, all I did was commit crimes and get high. That's really all I ever did. I just would get just enough money to get off sick. And like so many of us, I used drugs intravenously, whether it was crack or heroin. And I just got to a point where they just really weren't working. But when you're caught up, when you're actually caught up in the grips of addiction and all that, it's not like I could just stop. Like I needed to go to treatment. I needed to go to jail. I needed something to happen in order for me to really hit that bottom. And, but I wouldn't even say that I live a completely different life as far as, like I said, I was just a walking dead person in so many words when I got high and when I drank. But now today, it's just amazing. My positive pattern, whether it's I exercise a lot, try to make music, be a good father to my daughter, go to meetings, talk to my support group, just really practice spiritual principles in my daily life. And by doing all of that, it really has affected my thinking in a very positive way. I used to be just I just used to have negative thoughts constantly throughout every single situation or current circumstance in my life. But today, it's like, even when things go wrong, I don't like dwell on it. But my first thought is always find a solution. And that's just like what I do. And it really has became like just like first nature. Like it just becomes so habitual to just really attempt to do the right thing. And obviously I fall short. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but like to just attempt to do the right thing. And I don't know. It really has just became a way of life to work steps in my life, a way of life to basically just everything that I was taught by the people that came before me. That's what I try to utilize on a daily basis.
I love that you say that. Just try to, be better almost than you were the day before. I love using that too. Try and be 1% better than you were the day before. Whether it's in your personal life, your work life, your music, you can always be better than you were the day before.
Absolutely.
Wake up with that I was just listening to something before we hopped on this recording here, and it was basically like the more you think negative, the more negative is going to come into your life. You got to think positive,
Mhm.
and not positive toxicity by any means, but get rid of that negative thought process and replace it with the positive thought process, and things start to come to fruition and stuff like that too.
It is, and it's weird. I was actually driving home last night, and I was thinking about how grateful I was for everything I have in my life, and so much more than just the physical. But I was thinking about it. I was thinking about if something happened to this, or something happened to them, or something happened to this. Like I have to stay grounded, and what it is for me is just really just getting a good grasp on reality that like I will be okay no matter what happens, whether I lose that job, whether that person leaves me, whether all of that, like I will be okay. And it is, man, life has always been like a roller coaster. It has been up and down. It's been up and down. And it really is just about staying centered through the hard times, through the dark times and all of that, and really appreciating the dark times and everything because I don't know. I am the person I am today because of the struggles that I've encountered and the struggles that I've embraced and all the turmoil that I've been through. And I don't know. I really even do have gratitude in that for all the everything that I've been through because I do believe that it shaped my character into the person that you see today.
Yeah, I love that you say that though too, because I truly believe myself as well as for you, like you just said. The things that I went through, the things that I did in my past really made me into the human, the man I am today, the father I am. I still have lots of work to do. Don't get me wrong here.
Mhm.
I have tons of work. I can work on myself on a daily basis, man. And you have to work on yourself on a daily basis. It's never done. And that's why I love like a good redemption story like yourself.
Mhm.
That's why I'm with the woman I'm with is she loves a good redemption story. She saw so much good in me and picked me up from on my feet, on my knees, basically, and, kicked me in the ass and said, "Let's get going here. There's so much potential in you, Chris."
Yeah.
And just pushes me to be the better you version of myself on a daily basis, which I really love. I love having that support system in the background too.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I really would not be here if it was not for the predecessors that came before me and the people that I constantly reach out. I have local people, I have people that live, X amount of states away. I talk to whomever just to get fed because there's only so much giving that I can mentally do. Like I also need to be taught certain things. I also need to get my hope from somewhere. And that's what it is about staying connected to other people that are trying to do the same thing that I have, the same people that have the goals and to have people in my life that are, really going to build me up and not tear me down. That's what I'm trying to say. And because not everyone has my best interest at heart and I have to weed through them and I have to maybe leave them by the wayside. I have to always be around like we were talking the positivity because I'm susceptible to destroy my life at any given moment. And I don't need to be around any type of negativity or pessimism or anything like that. Granted, everybody slips, everybody might have a bad moment or a bad whatever, but that consistency of someone being negative is something that I can't accept.
And like that for myself too. I've had to cut off family members, even my own family and stuff like that, just because of the negativity or they didn't want to, change their lifestyle. I just can't be around certain things in life anymore. It's
Yeah.
not for me. My partner at home, she likes to have a glass of wine once in a while, and that's okay with me because she can do it. Like like to call them the normal people or whatever. At the beginning, she's like, "You don't want to see me drinking. You've seen me on drugs, and it's not a good thing. So trust me, you don't want to see me drinking either."
Yeah.
But she accepts that, and she doesn't push that on me, which I like. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
can go to those events and be around that type of stuff, but I know what for me, when it's time to get out if I have to. I still have those
Of
boundaries I
course.
have to put up, those walls
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah,
And I love that you say that. And I love that you're so open and you have to get your hope and stuff and fill your cup from other places too, and not always giving. I love that you say that, man. I love that you reach out to your fans too, man, and
I
keep them.
definitely
You do, man. You do amazing things. You stay in contact. You're always gave me your phone number and those types of things. I wish to build this relationship, friendship further than this episode too,
of
man.
course.
And what aspect of your life, Chaz, has improved the most since you got clean the last?
I don't I would say maybe 2 things, and the one kinda came in a little later, but this is a question I could really think of, but, like, the first thing that even popped into my head was dealing with fear. So, I was a very fear-based individual. When I tell you I was scared of everything, I was scared of everything. I was scared of applying for jobs. I was scared of talking to girls. I was scared of crowds. I was scared of speaking in meetings. And I don't wanna say that, like, all that went away. I just deal with it just so much better. And then I deal with it with this sense of courage that I truly believe was God given. And it was just the more that I would push myself in whatever area it was, the more I would push myself, just the more comfortable and easier it became. And the fear always just came from really just like, maybe not always being comfortable in my own skin, and, today, I don't the majority of the time, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm awkward, I'm quiet, and that's just who I am, and if someone can't vibe with that or doesn't get with that, then it's okay. So I would say, like, persevering through fear, and also there's something that was new that was introduced to me this last time being in recovery the last 6.5 years was even being a father. And if anyone that knows my story is just that was always the ultimate fear of my life was to be a dad. Maybe branching from the fact that I never met mine or whatever, but that fear really is the one thing in my life that has brought me so much joy. And recovery has done so much for me and I've changed so much, but like also my daughter has taught me so much. My daughter has taught me so many things about life, about love, about patience, about numerous things that I thought I knew about, but I really didn't until she was introduced to me.
And it's crazier when you have a girl and it's not a boy too. Like I have a boy and a
Yeah.
girl, but having a girl, oh my God, man! Like you get the best of both worlds. I tell you, I think our girls are about the same in age, or my daughter's just turned 7. So,
Yeah, my daughter will turn 5 in July.
oh, nice, nice.
Mhm.
Is she 5 going on 20 some days too? That's the way my daughter was.
Yeah.
But how are you finding fatherhood? Because you raise her on your own, basically. Not on your own. I'm
Well,
sure she's
yeah, yeah, no, I mean, her mother actually lives like 2 miles from here. She'll get her for a day, I'll get her for a day, or if I leave and travel, like, she'll take her, and then whenever I come back, I'll get her for X amount of days, so I pretty much see her every day for the most part. Yeah, I do, but I love it. I really do. Like I said, it was just one thing that I didn't know that I'd possibly be able to handle or to do, and, it's incredible. It's so the only way I could describe it is that it's that missing piece to the puzzle that I've had my entire life. And I don't want to say fill in that void or that emptiness, but there was always something inside of me that really couldn't be fit with recovery or a new car or like clothes. And I don't know, she fit like to this piece of the puzzle perfectly. And I never would have imagined that would have been the answer. You
that's
know?
amazing, man. Like, see,
That's just for me. I'm not saying to, like, go have a kid. I'm just saying for me, that is what she I was clean when she was born, but in so many words, she really did save my life because she saved my life in opening my eyes to a bigger I see more of the planet and the universe and life and all everything strictly just because she entered mine.
that's amazing, man. And I truly believe my kids in a way saved mine. I was they were growing up to an extent when I got clean, but it was if it wasn't for them in the back of my mind, I really don't think I'd be here today. You know what I mean? I couldn't fathom my kids not growing up with a father and stuff like that. So it was time. I got sick of being sick basically at the end of the day, man.
Yeah,
Sick and tired of being sick and tired. The old saying is.
truly, and she just helped me change my outlook on everything, and, I've talked about this before, but, like, the things I thought were important just whenever she was born, they just weren't, like being liked or wearing a nice shirt or whatever it is, like, none of that stuff matters to me today because she's my focus point. Her growing up and having a good future is really where I keep, like, my vision at in so many words.
That's amazing, man, to see, and I love the bond you 2 have and the love that you show when you post pictures of her and you online and
Mhm.
stuff like that, man. It's amazing. It's just lovely and heartwarming to see, Chaz. What is the meaning of a good life in your own words today?
And honestly, I believe that I'm living it. I really am like living my dreams, but like a good life in general, I would say to be clean or to be sober and to be able to financially, mentally, and spiritually take care of your children if you have any. And honestly, just happiness. It don't even matter if you're broke or I would take happiness over anything. Happiness and health to have a good life, a roof over your head and foods. Honestly, like the essentials, the necessities to live. Because there was even times where I would have way more than I would need as far as like physical things, but like I was unhappy. So I know that that's not the answer to my problems. And I don't know, just recovery in general has granted me this life that I really didn't believe was ever possible for me. And I didn't believe that I was even worthy or deserved any type of incredible life.
And I have those thoughts that try and creep in once in a while still too about that self-doubt and I'm not worthy and like,
Mhm.
why am I given these opportunities that I'm given today? It's because talk the talk and walk the walk today though, and show my true authentic self out there and not just a bunch of bullshit anymore.
Mhm.
And the podcasting has really grown this amazing community. I find like whether it's talking to people in recovery like you or professional athletes. Like, I just love good, solid humans to chat to and build those connections and build a network and just share everyone's story too. And I just love doing that. And this story will help someone. What we talk about, the next person's story, as long as it helps one person, that's all that matters to me. You know what I mean? If it
Yeah.
helps one person, that's all that matters. You've done your
Mhm.
job at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Your songs have helped many. I can tell you that, man. Especially it's helped lots of myself. Like I remember listening to that song over and over again, Drug Addiction number 1 and 2 on repeat. They're just amazing songs and speak from the heart too.
Thank you.
No problem, man. So do you think acts of kindness have a motive in today's society? It's like a double-edged question, I think.
Yes and no. They do, but I don't think that should stop people. If there is a motive in your benevolence or your goodwill, I would still say help someone or do something for someone.
The ones that I don't like, and I'm not saying that they're bad, but you don't need to, like, film yourself doing some act of kindness for someone and post it on social media for clout, basically.
No,
Like,
cool. And I don't
that's the
know.
ones that I don't get. If I'm gonna go out and just do some good deed for someone, I don't need to go film it to post it to the world to see to get praise. You should do that every day.
Trust me, it's like a pet peeve of mine. I believe the same thing. There's so many things that I'm sure you can remember. There's a lot of good things that I've done that I've kept strictly between me and God. And it's almost, I feel if it was to get acknowledged, that it almost loses its potency in some type of way. I don't really do that much stuff, like as far as posting about maybe good things I've done for others, because it's almost too like, why are you even taking the credit for something good that you did? It was really, in so many words, you were just the instrument from God. Like, trying to take the credit, like, maybe I was just placed in a certain position for the opportunity to help somebody or something like that, but I don't know. I wouldn't say stop helping because then if everyone stopped helping that had motives, I don't think anyone would help each other. So
No, I get what you're saying, but that's where I think the motive's wrong though, with just posting it on Instagram or Facebook or
yeah,
TikTok or whatever, all for just likes and comments and follows or whatever. I think it's the wrong way of going about it. That's all I was saying there, really.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. Hurry up. I'm the same way with deaths, people that die. I mean, if it's someone that's really close to you, yeah, I get it, but just posting that died just because you want people, I believe people do that more for the wrong reasons than like filming stuff for helping others. That's another thing that, like, I don't know, people will just, I'll go on Facebook and they'll post about someone that died that they weren't even really that close with. And like, why are you even, they'll do it like hours after they died. Like their family doesn't even know yet. Like, why are you posting this on social media? It makes no sense. But I don't know. A lot of people are weird. Some people are strange, but it is what it is. People are going to do what they want.
for sure. I want to talk a little bit. One of my another I have so many favorite songs of yours, but Class Acts with Mac Miller, man. Rest in peace to the man. But How did that song come about, man? Obviously, that was done over 10 years ago now, almost.
This kid,
Are you guys friends in Pittsburgh? Because I know he's from Pittsburgh as well.
yes, he's from Pittsburgh. I haven't listened to that song in years, and now this kid JJ from New Jersey asked me about it yesterday. It was the first time I like talked about it in a long time, but yeah, in so many words, I would see him at ID Labs, the studio that we would both go to. I knew of him when he dropped the jukebox, which was his first, single mixtape. That would probably be, if I had to guess, I would say 2006, 2007. He was
I remember that
just,
video on YouTube too.
yeah, he
The
was, I was
jukebox.
just in high school. Yeah. And nothing. I met up with him. I knew him from MySpace, and same, he knew me through MySpace. And I met him probably 3 times down there. And then my engineer, Jerm, at the time, because I was working with a couple different artists from the city that was on that actual mixtape that I had dedicated till death. And I wanted him on that. So I sent him the beat. He liked it. He's like, yeah, I'll definitely do it. And then he dropped Kids, and then which was his mixtape that literally exploded him. And I remember I went to the studio like a week later and I was like, Jerm, do you think he'll still do it? And he's, oh yeah, he'll definitely still do it. And he did the verse for me for free, like a week later. And I was appreciated it. And then I think I seen him maybe twice after that. I seen him like
Okay.
once a year later and was just like, congratulations on your success. Cause at this time he wasn't like a mega superstar, but he was like really big. And then, but when he moved out to LA and New York and all that, yeah, I didn't see him for years before he died. But I have like I said, my engineer and another good friend of mine, Bill, they always were good friends with him and kept in contact with him.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, no, he was like another true genius, man. He was just amazing the way he just delivered his stuff, I found too. So how does one find oh, sorry, I already asked. What methods do you use to stay focused today?
To stay focused, I would say I try to find the drive because every day that I wake up, I'm not motivated to do this, to make music, to live my life. Got to find the drive and find the motivation from somewhere. I get my focus. Really, it could be from even just sitting down and writing or attempt to write a song. It could even be running on the treadmill. It could even be looking into my daughter's eyes. So it could be going to a meeting. It could be calling someone in my support group. I get help from everywhere. And I also get like glimpses of devotion and motivation from anywhere. But I try to stay focused. I don't want to say I have ADD, but I'll start this and then I'll start that. But like I just focused on my goals as far as certain things that I have in my life right now that I just want to see them all the way through, whether it's a new music project or whether it's with can continue to do with what I'm doing with work. And it's hard. A lot of days I just want to sleep and ignore my phone and not respond to anyone. But I know that I have to push myself. And I was taught a long time ago that just even with recovery in general, that thank God it's not about what I feel or I think, it's about what I do. It's all about my actions. So even at the times where I don't really feel like doing certain things, regardless, despite how I feel, I'll still do them because I know that's where the reward is.
100%, man. If you follow through your dreams, your end goal, and all those things, it's so rewarding in the end when you actually do complete a task too. Just give yourself that pat on the back. Be kind to yourself too.
Yeah.
So, do you have some like a one good piece of advice for anyone still out there struggling with addiction or sobriety and stuff like that? What's one good piece of advice you could give like the younger generation coming up?
It's really just like a bunch of different moving parts in so many different ways. With me, it really all just started with that gift of desperation. I got to a point where I was so desperate for the next one, but I also got to this point where I was just so desperate to be clean and I was willing to do whatever it took. And I would say to the person still struggling, even if you feel in your heart that you don't have a desire, even if you feel in your heart that you can't get nor stay clean, like still just try. Just try because this the last time I went to treatment, I remember I went there and I was like, I almost felt it was a pit stop. Like, I'm just gonna come here and I'm just gonna just do this and then go home and continue to keep doing what I'm doing. But if something clicked on like day 8, 9, or 10, like I started to feel good and everything changed. Everything in my life changed for the sheer fact that I just didn't have chemicals running through my system anymore. And I would say reach out to someone that you trust. I would say reach out to someone that cares about you and has your best interest at heart, and really just take it from there. And I know how difficult it is. I know how difficult it is when your skin is literally, itching, that you have to use or you have to drink, and you feel like you have to, or you're like your head will explode, and that obsession becomes so strong, like you don't know how to deal with it. But man, it is possible. That feeling is temporary. At first, it's temporary. It will pass, and you can live a life beyond your wildest dreams.
Thank you so much, man, for sharing that. It's so true, like that being so desperate that you just want to get better.
Yeah.
And I feel you with the skin itching and stuff like that, man. Fuck, I never want to go back to those days. I tell you that, man.
Yeah.
It just gave me the heebie-jeebies just thinking of that. But yeah, man, before we go though, where can everyone find you on the social medias and stuff, Chaz? If they don't already follow you.
Really, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I post all my music on YouTube. Facebook's more along the lines of just my personal stories and memes, but I would say my Instagram is more personal than my Facebook. But yeah, really anything, anywhere you listen to music, my music is there. So it doesn't matter really what platform or streaming a service you use, I should be on there.
Thanks again for coming on the show today, man, to share your story. We'll have a great chat, man, and truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this, man, with a huge fan over here in Canada, too. I'll keep bumping your music to the day I die, man. I truly appreciate the music and the stories in your songs because it's speaking from the heart, man. It's not all that other crap that's out there. That's why I love it, man.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'm working on a couple different projects right now, and yeah, I'm just gonna try and get them done. I'm real busy, but I'm making the time, so I appreciate it. I have a lot more music coming out soon.
Thanks, man. And when should we be expecting some more music? Like in the new year?
My next single, "Lord If You Hear Me," should be out within 2 weeks.
Nice, man. So just before Christmas.
Yes,
Perfect. Perfect timing then, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day, man, and you take care, man. And thanks
Thank
again for coming on the show.
absolutely. You too.
All right, take care.
You too.